So you're looking at the Doogee S98 Pro, that incredibly rugged phone with a thermal camera you've seen online, and you're wondering if it's the ultimate outdoor survival tool or just another overhyped brick. I tested this phone for weeks, pushing every single feature it claims to have. It makes some incredible promises that could actually change your work or outdoor adventures. But here's what surprised me. After putting it through its paces, I found some glaring, deal-breaking problems that nobody is talking about. Therefore, if you're about to spend your hard-earned money on this thermal imaging powerhouse, you need to see this first. For the best price, click the link in the description. This isn't just a review, it's a reality check. We're going deep on the 3-in-1 camera, the rugged build, and that massive 6000 mAh battery. It sounds perfect on paper, right? A phone that can see heat, survive a drop, and last for days. However, the truth is far more complicated and, honestly, a bit frustrating. Therefore, let's start with the most exciting feature, the one you're probably buying this for: the thermal imaging camera. It's the highest resolution on a phone, they say. It promises to detect drafts, electrical faults, and overheated machinery with smooth, accurate imaging. And in a controlled, ideal environment, it kinda works. You can point it at your radiator or your computer and see a colorful blob of heat. It's a neat party trick, I'll give it that. But here's the first major problem. The software is clunky and utterly useless for any real, precise diagnostic work. The temperature readings jump around wildly. Therefore, if you're a contractor or electrician thinking this will replace your dedicated FLIR tool, think again. It's a toy masquerading as a tool. That leads us to the overall camera system. You get a 48 MP main shooter and a 20 MP night vision camera alongside the thermal sensor. For a rugged phone in this price bracket, the daytime photos are acceptable. They're decent in good light. But the moment the sun goes down or you try to use that dedicated night vision camera, everything falls apart. The images get grainy, detail is smudged, and the processing is slow. Therefore, the promise of a versatile 3-camera setup for outdoor scenes feels hollow. It's like having a Swiss Army knife where only the bottle opener works reliably. Now let's talk about what powers this whole operation: the MediaTek Helio G96 processor with Android 12. Doogee promises a smooth experience, even for gaming, and for very basic tasks it's fine. However, open a few apps, try to multitask, or load a moderately demanding game, and the stutters begin. The 8 GB of RAM should help, but the software optimization just isn't there. Therefore, that extraordinary and smooth gaming experience they advertise, more like an ordinarily frustrating one. It's a classic case of specs on paper not translating to performance in your hand. But maybe you can forgive some lag if the phone can survive a nuclear blast and last forever, right? This brings us to its rugged credentials and battery life. The IP68, IP69K, and mil STD 810G ratings are seriously impressive. I dropped it on concrete, sprayed it with a hose, even buried it in sand briefly. It survived all of it without a scratch. This is the S98 Pro's undisputed victory. It's a tank. Therefore, for builders, hikers, or anyone in harsh environments, the build quality is legit. Paired with that is the 6000 mAh battery. It's enormous. In my testing with moderate use, I easily got 2 full days. That's a win. They also include 33W wired charging and 15W wireless charging, which is great for a rugged phone. But, and this is a huge but, there's a catch. The phone only supports 4G networks. In 2023, launching a phone at this price without 5G is a confusing, backward step. Therefore, if future-proof connectivity matters to you, this phone is already a relic. It's like buying a new car with a cassette player. Sure, it works, but why? Now, let's get into the real-world annoyances, the daily problems that turn a promising device into a headache. The fingerprint sensor is sluggish and often fails to recognize. The face unlock works slightly better, but in low light it just gives up. So much for easy unlocking. The software, while it's Android 12, is layered with Doogee's own clunky interface and questionable bloatware. It feels unfinished. Therefore, the user experience is a constant battle against small, irritating flaws. I promised you jokes, so let's lighten the mood. Using this phone's thermal camera to find a cold beer in a fridge is more reliable than using it to find an electrical fault. The performance is so inconsistent. It's like the phone is powered by a hamster wheel that the hamster abandoned last Tuesday. Trying to get a clear night vision photo is like trying to take a selfie with Bigfoot. You'll get something, but you won't be happy with the details. And the lack of 5G, that's the phone's way of telling you to slow down and enjoy the buffering. Let's synthesize all this. The Doogee S98 Pro is a paradoxical device. It excels in brute force durability and battery life, areas where many mainstream flagships fail. For that, it deserves credit. However, it fails in the execution of its most unique and advertised features. The thermal camera is a gimmick for professionals, the performance is middling, and the software feels like a beta test. Therefore, who is this actually for? If you need an indestructible brick that makes calls, sends texts, and lasts forever, and you're willing to treat the thermal camera as a fun bonus feature with zero professional reliance, then maybe, just maybe, it fits. But for anyone looking for a reliable, all-around rugged daily driver or a serious thermal imaging tool, this is a hard pass. The problems outweigh the promises. So, should you buy the Doogee S98 Pro? My final verdict is no. Not unless your primary criteria are survivability and battery life above all else. The core concept is fantastic, but the execution is frustratingly flawed. There are better, more consistent, rugged phones out there, and if you truly need thermal imaging, investing in a dedicated tool is the smarter choice. Therefore, save yourself the disappointment. If after all this you still want to check the latest price for yourself and see if it's worth the risk for your specific needs, I've done the hard work for you. For the best price on Amazon, click the link in the description below.